I'm doing a brand on a big global, I'm working on Coke or Amex, or I'm making a television. So there is social cachet to do with TV. And you've got to understand, back in the 70s and 80s, the way to get into movie production was to start in advertising. And David Ogilvy, he said it was his secret weapon. He grew one of the world's biggest agencies using direct mail to acquire new clients. Cheers. I'll tell you why, and it goes back to prehistory. In the 80s, when direct marketing agencies emerged, and David Ogilvy, if you work in advertising, you know who DO is. He said it was his secret weapon. He grew one of the world's biggest agencies using direct mail to acquire customers, new clients. Right? And what happened was the direct agencies, and Ogilvy was one of the first to grow a global network around Australia. The direct agencies were growing at a time when the brand agencies were struggling. The other thing was, there is this, I'm doing a brand on a big global, I'm working on Coke or Amex, or I'm making a television. So there is social cachet to do with TV. And you've got to understand, back in the 70s and 80s, the way to get into movie production was to start in advertising and create ads. And a lot of young producers came from the advertising industry because that's where they got their start. So it had a bit of, this sophistication around it. And then along came the direct marketers, who are all about selling things immediately and getting a measurable response, because everything you do in direct marketing is a measured response. As I said, either data or dollars. It goes way back to there, where you had two different agencies. And one of the big problems was the clients were starting to see really strong brand effects from the direct response advertising, but at the same time, great sales. So they started to migrate their budgets into the direct agencies. So my enemy was not Clemenger Direct, it was Ogilvy and Mather, because they were trying to not let me get to see clients of theirs, as they called it. So rather than do the right thing by the client, they were protecting their bottom line because their bonus was paid on it. So you had these silo agencies. So that's 40, 50 years old. Right? And now you've got a new generation who go, we've got new technology, so therefore anything before that technology is old-fashioned, and old-fashioned is evil and wrong and bad and doesn't work, which is kind of crap. I've owned a supermarket, and here's what customers used to do. They'd hand us a list of their weekly shopping order, and it was the same order each week unless they changed it. Then we would pick and pack the goods, and we'd put them in a cart, and we'd deliver it to their home, and usually we'd unpack it over a cup of coffee while they put it in the pantry. Then along came a new order form called the internet. Now people order online instead of handwriting. Someone picks and packs, and someone they don't know delivers it to their front door and leaves it there. The customer experience, that little piece of buzzword that they think is new, has actually gone backwards thanks to the internet. Right? It used to be a much better customer experience in the grocery industry. It was personal, right? So, Coles had to make a change. They call it the last 10 yards, right? So you've done everything right, the customer's ordered, you've got the delivery, and then along comes some BO smelling blue singlet, 50 nose piercings and a cigarette. Here's your groceries, love, right? Delivering it. And they had to change completely. And what they've done is the delivery for these retailers now, they're actually given territories, and they're making the drivers wear uniforms, because that's where it dies, is in that last 10 yards, right? They can do all the work up front, but the delivery was where the problem was. So they've had to change the way they go about delivering.